Okay. I don't want to upgrade now. It's going to be like stamped on the video. Okay. So what you can do is recode, transform, recode into a different variable. Okay.
And then we push those over.
Yeah. So which one? This. Right.
So I want to go. I want to go over 27.
Well, so ranking total. Okay. So I'm going to create a new variable. So it's going to be called ranking total. And so the range is, so what would be low?
I need to pull up the PDF. No, because this is for something else.
Oh.
I think it's under 12, maybe. Let me.
So 27, above 27 is high?
Including 27. 27 and above.
Right. So that's going to be, I'm going to code that as a 1, and then all other values would be 0.
Yep, 0 to 13 is low.
So you see what I'm doing? It's range, so 0 to 13 would be a 0, which is low stress. I'm going to change that to a 2. And what's medium?
14 to 26.
Okay. So 14
Oh, okay. So now it's going to spit out 0,
26. Yeah.
Got it. And then that's how we'll get our frequency.
Yeah. So we can do that and hit continue and hit OK, and it's going to create a new variable. Wait. And so total ranking of stress, and we're going to put labeled cases 1 or 0. Low. Ranking. 0, that's the 0. 1. Medium. 2. 26. I was going to put that in this because low 5. Just so when you look at this later, you'll remember what it is. And then
low would be below
30.
40. Yeah,
below
13.
40.
Yep.
I know what it is. After using my Chromebook to grade the last okay. And then so we just do simple graph. I like pie charts. Pie charts are my favorite. There you go. And then we do this. Put the numbered on there. And then we put the count on there too. Wait. And we apply.
So I had 18.
You got 18. Wow, excellent counting, sir.
Yeah, good. All right.
Okay, and so you want to look at just these. It'd be interesting to compare these two, because you have enough sample to compare the people that are low versus high. That would be. You don't want to do comparative statistics. So.
Okay, but let me back up to the first question on my email that I sent you before we get into this. So basically, what I was explaining outside. Title is measuring. Okay, to answer the question, when does stress and burnout were measured? What did I find? I take the total sample, 120. I'd run just descriptive stats, and then I'd get my mean and my standard deviation for each of those three totals, which we kind of already did. And like I said, they all fell in like the normal.
Yeah, well, so I mean that basically your stress. I mean, it's okay to not find significant results.
Right, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure when I'm writing that I'm reporting the right thing. And I would write, for example, with this, perceived stress, the mean is, and I think it was like 21.2 or something.
Well, I can do that real quick here.
Fell in considered or is considered moderate stress. and that's it, period. And then I would do each of those things for the 3 measures in the burnout, right?
Right. So we'll do the burnout next here. So this is the way that we look at this. Okay. So the average of TSS total
Was 19.
0.63, standard deviation of 6.029. So if you multiply that times 1.96, that'll tell you where 95% of the scores lie. And I assume that's how you got the 27. So let's see. Browser window. So what's the standard deviation again?
6.029.
So 6.029. So 1.96. That's 2 standard deviation, or 1.95% of the distribution. So that's at 11.81. So
Which means we can go 11 points on either side.
What's the mean again?
Right.
Plus.
Did we get? I think I write down 19.
19.63. 19.63. So that would be the high outside of the normal range would be 31. And then okay, so minus
0.63.
I get in a good bike building mode. And yeah, so it's a very normal distribution. No one group stands out more. There's no major outliers in there, but that's not the best way. So it's not the best way to analyze it. But the distribution is normally distributed, and there seems to be a little bit of a mode down here. The data seems to be a little bit skewed up here. That means that there's a group of people up here, and it'd be nice to know who those people are.
Mm-hmm.
There's analysis called, it's called a one sample t-test. And so let's see if, is this the first time this burnout inventory has been, what's the normal burnout inventory score? You have a population sample?
I have...
From business, you said?
Well, this is just off of, obviously, what they...
Right.
When they give it.
But what is do they have normal parameters that they've established? Has a normative assessment?
I mean, that's what it is.
No, but is that, but do they have do you have the validation paper for that?
No.
Scroll down a little bit. Let me see.
This ends. This is just from...
Right, okay, so there's no reference that has for that?
There is. This is just I just Googled the PDF just to get these ranges.
Okay. Because you want to find out, is your sample different than the norm? And it doesn't really, I mean, it looks like it looks almost perfectly normally distributed, so. So we can do, let me just do a quick little. Let's just see if there's a difference in. Here's my prediction. The females are going to have a more high stress. Nope, no differences. It's a little bit higher than that. So this is basically looking at males versus females versus ranking the stress.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no, maybe if you selected just the high stress folks, you might find a difference, but I mean the difference is, put the numbers on here. 6 versus 12, twice as many of the females. So let's look at. I just want to. I'm just. So that might be interesting, but let's see. Oh, that's weird. What happened? Did I choose the wrong one? Oh.
Yeah, what is your gender other than? Yeah, you gotta go one above that, I think.
I hate it that it puts it in small boxes. Okay, so if we go to, let's just look at the high stress folks. So at most, look at it's 8 and 9, 42, 43, but 6 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if women coaches are worried more about win-loss than men coaches. I like that players was one of the high.
Oh yeah, managing the team. Managing the team was number 2.
The damn athletes.
Yeah.
We need to get robots to compete. Okay, so we go to data, select cases, and then we're going to, if a condition is satisfied, and your total ranking of stress equals 2. So we look at the height people. Okay. And then so now you can do a chi-squared. Analyze. Chi-squared just is expected over observed frequency. And then this is like the full version of SPSS, and there's so much stuff on here that I don't know. I need to take a class. One of my students was doing tutorials online to try to finish her final. She was like, hey, I found this. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Okay. Let's see. Gender. Let's see. We'll look for correlation. What is the one? Where's the code about? What is the cause? Is there a code? Is that coded in here?
No.
Oh, okay.
Since those were open-ended, I put those just on that Excel sheet.
No, there's even though it's twice as many, 6 and 12. It's not statistically significant. So it might be it's not more than would be expected by just random chance. Okay, so even though you have a good sample size, okay, so never mind. I just wondered if women coaches worry about their job more, or they're just more like you said, the chip on the shoulder for trying to prove themselves so much. Okay, so your data looks pretty normal. There's something called a one sample t-test, which compares against the test value. So it compares your population compared to a test value.
Okay.
And if we knew what the normal distribution was of that, what the normal distribution of that particular table, or what are the expected means from that? It should be like validation or we'll just stop with that.
On the last week?
Yeah, we'll just scroll down. You should have like a you should write in the abstract. Internal consistency, blah blah blah. Forgiveness of foot measure, also adequate focus on studio. It's fun to get into.
Did you say we saw it off there?
No, I thought I saw it there, but it's because it says the average age. Oh, no, it's average age. But it's in that article. We just have to scroll down.
What is it? Function?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's put in control.
Mean. Yes. Precipitation procedure. Mean A, keep going down. Mean. Keep going down. Up. You're going up.
Because that's talking about the test.
That's just looking at the intertest reliability. Results. The mean, there we go, was 21.9, standard deviation of 7. So
Which is higher than ours. Ours is 19.63.
21, let me put ours in here. It is statistically different. It's actually statistically lower than that. So, compared to that sample that they use, coaches are actually statistically lower as far as overall stress and perceived stress.
So it would be worthwhile, like this, for example. Perceived stress.
Okay, do you have your burnout scores on here?
Yeah. Results.
There's average age, 80% of respondents are married, blah blah blah. But so you just have to do the same thing for yours. But.
Well, that's one of my questions in the email is how in depth do I want to go?
Just like that.
You think so?
Yeah. Don't overdo it.
Okay.
Average total years coaching. Average total years coaching. Time spent. Okay, so job satisfaction was 151. Burnout percentage of participants. Oh, where's the burnout scores? That's calculating it. That's the method.
Burnout. Here we go. Emotional exhaustion, 23.4. Standard deviation, depersonalization. So, and that's exactly what we can run.
Right. And so that's exactly. I mean.
But why do we care what this does?
Because yours is basically the same thing. It's just a volleyball.
So then, is that something that I'd want to cite? Like, hey,
yeah,
my findings were similar.
Yeah.
To the relationship between her burnout for fast pitch softball coaches, blah blah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then cite the article and then say, but we don't know if they're similar because what did they find? So do you have that scale?
Yeah, the scale right here.
No, but in here in the data.
No.
Okay, you have a different scale. So it's a different scale, but you basically
there is no scale in the data because that was what I was saying. Like why I counted up how many people were high, for example, because I don't know how to create that scale.
Right.
Like what you just did for the perceived stress.
Well, let's make the one for the other one then.
So emotional exhaustion is, which is MBIEE on our
MBIEE. Okay. So what's the rankings then?
The low is less than 16.
Transform recode in different variable. Okay. MBIEE. Okay. And what is the name of this?
Would be emotional exhaustion. And low is less than 16.
Okay, let's exhaust. Okay, so 0 is to 16.
Yep.
Okay, what's the middle?
It is 17 to 26. And high is 27 or more.
Right. It goes back and forth between sitting in the sun and then sitting inside. It's a real busy day she has. So we can panel any one of these graphs. Oh, that's cool. Nice.
All right, so 2 is high.
Yeah. So 35 people had. So
Yeah, I had 34, but it did only had 119 because I was going off the other sheet, not this one. So,
but if we go, let's look at this one. So let's go just do a quick combination of the two.
and that is what other studies have shown is that if you have a high perceived stress, you'll have a high emotional exhaustion.
Let's see. So this is for, so I broke it up by males and females. So, okay, so there's a lot of statistically significant junk in here. So let's look at the graph. Low ranking of stress. Nobody said, let me close that so you can have words on there. That's cool.
And why is it only pulling? It had thrown one out. Did you see that? The sample size was at 119 instead of 120.
Maybe one of the questions was blank. I'm not sure. No. Russian low 16. I really want to see if people that have suffering from mental exhaustion are looking up. With mind balance thing.
But we don't have those coded in that.
Yeah. What are the words there?
It should be.
Okay.
But it's.
No, let's not complicate things. Just keep it simple. Do you want it broken by males and females, or just let's not break by males and females. Okay, so there's definitely a statistic. The crosstabs show that there's a high probability. Look at, I mean, this is great. Look at the line going this way, doop 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 doop, and then doop doop none.
and which is which? So this
low exhaustion, high stress, moderate exhaustion, medium stress, high exhaustion, high stress, which is good. That validates your measures. But it's nice because let me put the numbers on this. So you can get it down if you want. We can leave it. So you can see that 13 people who had low ranking of stress are also low exhausted. 24 people, only 2 people with high stress said low exhaustion. Moderate exhaustion, that's most people. But then look at this, 2, 5, 11. That's pretty cool.
What is the green one shown here?
Moderate stress. These are people with moderate rankings of stress and high exhaustion.
Got it.
So these are the folks that we'd look at their coping mechanisms. All the moderate folks have the same ranking of stress, but half of them are exhausted, half of them are fine. And so then that's where you would start pulling in the coping, is what are the difference between these 24 people and these 24 people?
Which is...
That's kind of what you wanted to... Well, you wanted to describe it, but eventually you wanted to put some intervention or something in there.
Recommendations for intervention.
Yeah. So you'd have to look at the habits of these folks compared to the habits of these folks. I mean, these people are stressed because they're exhausted because they're stressed. These people are exhausted because they're not coping as well.
So, just so I understand, what you did was you took the stress scale
Mm-hmm.
and then
I recoded it. So let me pull it. The code's right up in here on the thing. So I'm going to cross tab. So I recoded MBIE 27 through 100 equals a 2, 0 through 16 equals a 0, and 17 through 26 equals a 1 into emotional exhaustion. So I recoded it, and then I labeled it. And so you can recode to increase your degrees of freedom and increase your changing it from a continuous variable to a categorical variable. Then you can recode things really nicely, and it increases your statistical power and allows you to group stuff, which is nice. And so that's, I mean, we did the same thing again. We did the same thing for the other code as well, this one. Total ranking of stress. It's exactly the same. If we scroll back up, you can see the code. Recode, BDS, total, same thing. Into ranking total. What about the other scales? You want to put the other scales?
Yeah, so can we put the other two in?
And they're slightly different. Easy. If I tell them to, it's the computer's doing the work. We're not doing anything.
So DP for depersonalization.
Nice. DP? MIDP.
Low is less than 6.
Well, I guess, so what is it?
Depersonalization.
Less than 6?
Yeah.
Change. Okay, which one?
7 to 12. And higher than 13 is high.
Oh, you put 13 on
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to put a label on the other two maybe.
Yeah, I will. What is that? Well, what does that mean in your world?
What's that?
Depersonalization. Attachment?
Yeah, from, yep.
Yeah.
And the last one is pure personalization.
I don't know what that is. Gotta get some reward for doing it. Oh wait, and it's also good to check and make sure you didn't screw something up. Oh, okay. Okay, pretty cool.
So,
Not too many people.
yeah. So that's really low then.
Yeah.
I mean, what's only 15?
13.
Yeah.
Well, that's good though. You don't want people to detach. That's not healthy. Oh, the EE one though?
Nope, we already did that one. PA, personal accomplishment or achievement. low, so this is going to be, they're going to work in reverse order. So low is 39 or more.
Okay. So 39 or more.
Low. Yep.
All right.
So 39 to 100, right?
No, 39 or lower.
39 or more.
Oh, 39 or more. Okay. 100.
Average is 38 to 32.
Narrowing.
And people that are high is 31 or lower. So you get 31 as well.
39. Everybody said it right. Yep. Okay. 39 to 100 is low. 32 to 38 is 1, and 0 to 31.
Yep.
Got it. Didn't take it at one point. If they were listening to the recording, so I'll do it again. So what we should see is personal satisfaction counter going against.
Yeah, so high scores on EEE or EE and BP subscales and a low score on the PA subscale represent a high level of burnout. On the other hand, a high PA score and a low EE and BP scores reflect a low level of burnout. Average scores on all three subscales represent an average level of burnout.
All right. So the crosstab should show that. So we go to analyze, descriptive statistics, descriptive. You want to calculate the mean and standard error of the mean to find out if your sample is normal. Okay. So which two should we show to show burnout?
Yep, we're going to do all three. So high scores on EE, so MBI, EE.
Oh, let's run the correlation. Well, did you run the correlations on those?
Not on this, with this.
Okay, so let's look at the. So, personal achievement should. I'm going to put the total ranking of stress at the top. And then put the other three down below. Exhaustion, depersonalization, and personal achievement. Because even if you're completely exhausted, but you just won the NC2As, I think you're going to be okay. You know, it's like, let's look at those three together. Okay. First one, so it's going to do so exhaustion and ranking of stress. Okay, so this is the same graph we just saw, except it's a different order.
Okay. So
low exhaust. So this is the same one we saw before, but where there was no high in this group. Okay, that's pretty typical. That's acceptable. Look at this one. Depersonalization. Huh. Kind of weird. But most people are not depersonalized, so.
Okay.
But I guess I don't know if that depersonalization counts. Well, that's cool. Look at how the high goes, it's the opposite direction as all the other ones.
Why is that?
Personal achievement is high. Stress is high. Okay, let me go. Let's do one at a time. Same graph, just backward different way. That explains what I'm saying. As personal achievement gets higher, the people with moderate rankings of stress goes lower. People with low rankings of stress goes lower, but look at the people with high rankings of stress. It gets higher. So I'm wondering, so this is why, I keep going back to the big questions that I want to ask, is that, are these people with a high win-loss record?
Yeah.
Who want the, but again, that's going beyond what you want.
So this says high scores on EE and DP subscales and a low score on the PA subscale represent a high level of burnout. So can we take those three?
Okay, so we're going to go data, select cases. We're going to create a group and then make a variable out of it. Okay, so read the thing again.
High scores on EE.
Okay, so EE, just use real words.
Emotional exhaustion.
Okay, emotional exhaustion, which is total emotional exhaustion, equals 2.
And DP, depersonalization. So those two are high.
And depersonalization. Equals 2 as well?
Yep.
Okay.
And then a low score on PA, on personal achievement.
So we're going to select people, the poor desperate souls, who have a 2 for depersonalization, a 2 for emotional, and a 0 for personal achievement.
But
horrible.
I think we flipped those.
We coded them so that personal achievement 0 is still 0.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So if that happens, that represents a high level of burnout.
Okay. So I'm just going to make sure the code. This is why I love this. Well, I read when I do my students a test. So there is personal achievement. Oh, so
yeah, so you want 0, not 2 for them, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah. So the higher the score, the lower the personal achievement. Correct? On the scale?
No. A low score on PA subscale represents a high level of burnout. So we want 2s for all of them on the code.
Okay, so that means so that's a low personal achievement means high. Thinking, hold on. So so let's go back to the personal achievement scale. Why did we code 39 to 100 equals 0?
The personal achievement subscale is an area of measurement representing low, 39 or more, average, 38 to 32, and high, 31 or lower.
So we want to look at the people with low personal achievement. Yeah, that's right, the 0. Low personal achievement, and then high in the other 2.
The personal subscale representing low, 39 or more, average, and high. High scores, low score on PA subscale.
But what does personal achievement mean? So when you say a high lack of personal achievement or high, you know that. You want a glass of water?
I'm good, thank you.
Tweaked my hamstring this morning. Feeling that age.
Okay, emotional exhaustion measures feelings of being emotionally strained and exhausted from work. Depersonalization assesses one's detachment and callous response toward recipients, players, co-workers, and the job itself. Personal accomplishment measures feelings of self-efficacy, competence, and individual success in one's profession.
Okay. So a low score means that they do not feel successful, and they feel unaccomplished and uneffective.
Yep.
Wait a minute. So a low score? So what are the? So
Yeah,
I got a 40. That means
So a 40 would be representing low. The personal achievement subscale, if you had a 39 or more, means that you're low.
Low meaning, how would I describe that person?
Well,
see how this matters.
that you wouldn't feel very successful in your profession. Right?
Right.
That's-
Okay, so we're right. Let's see the computer for some reason. Oh. Okay. Your personalization code equals 2, emotion and personal achievement equals 0. Right?
Is that what you had 0 for
39, yeah.
39 or more?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we have those people. Now what do we want to, so let's
So high scores on E and DP subscales, low score on PA subscale represent a high level of burnout.
okay, so let's just look at the total people, how many people we got left here. I'm just going to make a male and female graph. So where's the more time? How many people have that category? Not me. The percentages don't tell me that. Oh, come on. You only have 3 that are demonstrating burnout in your sample that fit that criteria. Grace.
That's unbelievable.
No. But
Is that something I want to report, do you think?
yeah. That based on this paper, only 3 people. So that's based on this assessment. You only have 3 people that are demonstrating.
That had high scores
Yeah.
on the MBI, EE, and DP, and a low score on the MBI. Wow.
Really not statistically related to each other very much either on this. So looking at the correlations, the only one that's even close is the. Oh, that's because you have data selected. I'm like, wait a second. We only have 3 people. I said that's a 0.99 correlation. Why isn't it significant? I only have 3 people. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so PSS total significantly related to those, significantly positively related to IEE, significantly positively related to MBDP.
So why is this? So somebody filled out this, but they didn't fill out.
They didn't answer one of the questions on that.
So then I should be using 119,
No.
right?
No, statistics will take care of the extra person. I wouldn't.
So I can report that 120 people.
No, I would say
Like I started with
let's
132.
go back and look at the data real quick and find out who that person is. Yeah, so somebody didn't answer a question. That person. So they either left it blank or There was a calculating error.
So can we pull the 3 people up so we can see what their what their
Yeah.
source of stress is? Kind of your point of, with the ones that were high, the 34 or whatever.
The hell are those people doing? Okay. I hate the not scrolling thing working. Oh, where's the filter go? You didn't calculate a filter. Please, man. Alright, let's see who these 3 people are. Stress management, faith, family, education.
So mental health of student athletes is number 1, followed by connecting with first generation support from the department.
So kids.
Yeah. Next one is winning, student athlete welfare budgets, and then administration, loss of full-time staff.
So there's no pattern.
Yeah. And then what about stress management? Education, family, faith, spend time with children, overeat, but then exercise.
Complaint. I like that for coach number 1 on the list. This person only has winning, student athlete welfare, and budget. Time to spend. I think that's a spurious. I don't think that. What if we? Yeah, this is only 2, 2, 1s. What if we did 2, 2, 1, 0, 1, and? Let's expand that a little bit.
Well, or just do emotional exhaustion, since that's supposed to have the.
And get rid of personal achievement.
Maybe
Self-efficacy is a really tough measure because it's really affected by current events. So, like, if you walk out and your car's got a flat tire, your self-efficacy goes down. it's real sensitive to day-to-day cramp. Okay, so let's go and let's just make a graph instead of male, female. I'm going to leave that. I assume you're going to have more now. Still not a lot. Only 10 people.
So, you would recommend that I would do exactly what they have.
Just describe it. This is okay. So I always tell us this is like these standard things. There's the who, and then there's the what part of your paper. So describe the who's.
Okay.
Just run the descriptive statistics on the who people. How many males? How many females? How many?
And I would do that by
analyze.
Yep. And then I go to descriptive. And then I go to here.
And then put all the demographic stuff in there.
All of it?
Yep. Age, gender. You got to make it.
Do I do race and all that stuff?
Yeah. You don't have to report it, but just do everything. So, but it, you want to make. I honestly would make pie charts because the average age. Well, because that's a I guess continue. How many years have been a coach? So you want to make. Make a graph. No. Oh, bootstrap isn't for the point. I want bootstrap. Sweet. I want bootstrap. I don't know what that. Okay. So you want to look at for most of these you're going to make pie charts. Honestly, just make a bunch of pie charts for each one because then it'll give you everything you need to know. Age, yeah, but then you can say because that's a continuous variable. How many total years division head coaching? How many current
Of the institution.
can you last one so often get upset? That was
Yeah,
a
those
skill
are-
question. Okay.
But there should be 6 demographic questions.
Yeah, but those are the ones that are continuous. So you can say the average age is 43, which is younger than I thought.
But that only took 10 people.
Oh, right, that's everybody. Please go through this method. Oh, the average age is 43. Of those 10. Like young coaches.
I'm in trouble.
Probably.
14.
Nice work. Brent. Who's here?
The dog sits on Grandpa's lap.
Yeah. Let's see. Got distracted. Man, as soon as semester's over, my brain just goes out to lunch. There you go. Average age 44. Young. And then standard, so you got those, and then just do these. Actually, you can just do frequencies too. Hello, Marcus.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Long time no see.
That's the second time today.
The dog is ready to bite you, man. He's ready to go through the screen.
Dog loved me.
I saw the jump box out in the backyard. I figured you'd be getting on that thing.
Oh, that's not for a while.
He's got mono.
Yeah, let's see what this means.
Let's see. I don't want four tiles. I don't want these tiles.
Once you get hammered, you can't do squat.
56. Okay, 54 females. Volleyball is a very Caucasian sport.
Yeah. And
Most
then-
of them married.
so then,
Because we're pretty racial. Okay? All right.
When are you driving up, Mark? Tomorrow?
Where I am.
You want to go play football?
Nope.
So I would just write this just like they did then.
Yeah.
This would be exactly the same. Right. Cool.
So there's that. And then there's your means of been in current institution 5. Let's just,
Well, those are only with the 10.
oh, okay. Well, you can watch this, I'll put it up on YouTube. Average years of 8. Let's see. I don't know if you've done this already. Have you looked at the years at institutions?
No. Like I said, I haven't done anything with the demographic stuff.
Yeah. So this is what I would start looking at now. Just because I like to do this kind of crap, but I would not. It's not necessary. How many years of your coaching? So see what those relate to any of the stress levels. No. Well, yeah. They don't relate to, so it's not longevity that affects. I'm looking at these boxes right here. No, nothing. And then,
What would these numbers need to be?
okay, so if we're looking for the sig, actually you look for asterisk. That's the main rule. So if like this is a negative 0.38, and which means that it's about, you square that, and it tells you the probability assessment. And so You got just over 16% probability to make an accurate prediction. If you know one, you could accurately predict the next one. And so, but this one's pretty good. This is 0.6. This is only 0.3. This is 0.5. So 0.6 is pretty good. Look at this. There's a strong relationship between the number of years you've been coaching and the number of years in your current institution. That's a very strong number, which means that the more you, it's kind of an obvious.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can make a graph out of it by making a scatter plot. You can look at how many of your total, how many of the institutions, and you'll see it looks like it's kind of a nice lineup. And then these are the folks in transition. And these are the ones. Yeah. Again, but that's you don't need to report any of that. But maybe the new coaches, if the new coaches are more likely to be stressed or burn out, or old coaches,
Yeah.
it's not new versus old. It'd be fun to have their record
Yeah.
and to see if the win losses are because they're on a down cycle, or the players are because there's a particular name that comes with people with the players.
Yeah.
Dealing with millennials. It's funny, dealing with millennials, the coach is only 43. So he's not like,
Yeah. Ancient.
right.
Yeah. It wasn't 60.